here, brew in hand. Was sitting back reviewing last night's boxing action over in Canada. A very cold looking Quebec City in Canada, where of course Artur Beterbiev, I'm going to get his name right today, and I kept calling him Beterbiev in the last video. It's very hard having to get out to, so apologies for that. Artur Beterbiev retained his light heavyweight championships, of course, against Callum Smith in what I can only describe. I was trying to think of the best way to describe it really, and can only describe it as clinical. I don't really remember any sort of necessarily big shots landing on Callum Smith. It was just a clinical performance, wasn't it, from Beterbiev? He just dealt with Callum Smith over 6 rounds, 18 minutes of boxing, and stopping him eventually in the 7th. Coming on to that one in just a minute. I just want to touch on the undercard first of all. A couple of fights that I mentioned in the preview. We had, of course, the title fight down at bantamweight. Just Jason Maloney against the Mexican Sanchez. What a fight that was, by the way. That was a cracking fight down at bantamweight. Newfound respect for Jason Maloney for me. He is tough. Obviously, voluntary defence, and Sanchez really came to fight. And they were both going at it toe to toe. Jason Maloney saying, I'm going to go with you. Both landed really heavy shots, trading away. And it was a fight for me that I don't think either of them deserved to lose. Both raised their hand at the final bell, and I don't think they deserved to be a loser. One judge giving it a draw, and I was expecting it to be a majority draw. I don't think anyone would have complained had that been given a majority draw. But then 2 judges in the end giving it to Maloney by 4 rounds, which I thought was a bit harsh in the end on Sanchez. I sort of felt maybe towards right at the end, the last couple of rounds, Sanchez just dropped, his levels just dropped, his output slightly. And Maloney being the champion, I thought he probably edged it if there was going to be a winner. But as I say, I don't think anyone would have complained had that been given a draw. Terrific fight. Catch up on it if you haven't seen it. Maloney really good on the jab, I thought. And Sanchez landed some lovely shots on the inside with the hooks and the uppercuts. And both men just really put it online for us. So fight of the night for me, I would say. And Maloney now, obviously he won the vacant title. Inoue stepping up to super bantam. Wouldn't surprise me if he looks to unify. I think Inoue's brother is down there as another belt holder. So perhaps unification beckons for him. Of course, Christian Mbilli, super middleweight. I like him. I really like him. He's compact. He's strong. Lovely variations. Punches from all angles. Lovely overhand right last night that he was using again. Rowan Murdoch. He was game. He really was game. He obviously eventually getting his corner pulling him out. I think around the 6th or the 7th. He was taking some punishment. Bailey landed some really hurtful shots on him. He wanted to go on, but I was sort of surprised he got dragged into that fight. Really, he got dragged into a real fight with Mbilli, and as I say, he took some heavy shots and stayed in there. Fair play to him. And I think Mbilli now would be interesting to see what he does stepping up to world level. Obviously, we know he's #1 ranked WBA, WBC, so there's a big fight for him. We expect Canelo is likely to vacate potentially one of the belts and look for the money fight, maybe a Benavidez. So I expect there'll be a vacant title on offer for Mbilli. And it'll be a tough night's work for anybody. As I say, tough, good engine. So yeah, I look forward to seeing how he gets on next time around. And of course, then the big one, guys, the main event. We talked about the magnitude of the fight in the build-up. We mentioned that not many people that I was listening to felt it was going to go the distance. Felt that Callum Smith might need to get the stoppage. We talked about how he might be able to potentially get a stoppage. I was still surprised though by the amount of people picking Beterbiev, picking Smith for the victory. It was almost like 50-50 what I was hearing, almost evenly tipped. Some people suggesting Beterbiev pushing 40, maybe on the slowdown. First couple of rounds I thought maybe they were right, because he he was sort of just getting his rhythm in the first couple of rounds, not exerting himself. And then, of course, he came out in the third and just basically said, right, now I'm going to show you how I box. Callum Smith went back to his corner at the end of the third and the fourth, and I think he looked there like a man who knew he was, you know, the magnitude of what was in front of him. Beterbiev finding his rage. Jab, I thought, was razor sharp, really impressive, and his movement in and out of range. I thought Smith would have more success in finding Beterbiev with his range advantage, but given that the movement in and out from Beterbiev was so good, and we always felt that when Beterbiev pushed Smith back against the ropes, it was going to be difficult for him, because he's not really that sort of inside fighter. I know he throws some good shots on the inside, but he wasn't going to sort of look to tie up Beterbiev or sort of move off the line. And I felt he looked a bit upright. Could he have made himself a bit smaller? Easy to say, and I don't think there was much he could have done to make any difference, because the volume of punches that was coming from Beterbiev was what was making it so difficult. He was going head, body. Smith was trying to take him. You know, you could hear his corner saying to him to fire back to try and keep Beterbiev from throwing, but he just didn't really seem to have an answer. I thought fifth and sixth round, he looked to sort of found a bit of rhythm, Callum Smith. He was a bit busier, I thought, with the jab, and was I thought looking like he was sort of getting into his work, but he just wasn't able to get any reaction from Beterbiev. You felt he had to hurt him to try and offset his rhythm, to try and get his respect. But at no stage did I think that Beterbiev looked sort of hurt from any of those shots that Smith was firing. He was trying to go head body, mixing up the jab, and trying to get his combinations off, but just didn't really trouble Beterbiev at any stage. And we always felt that the longer the fight went on, the more difficult a task it was going to become for Callum Smith. And I felt his body language pretty early on, you know, sort of looked like a bit subject. Did he feel he could win it? I'm not sure if he did. I'm sure he did. Obviously, you know, he would have felt he was going in there, but and we have every chance. But there were some hurtful shots. I mean, those weren't rangefinders from Beterbiev. There were some hurtful shots you could see, snapping the head back of Smith at will. And I think in the end, obviously in that seventh round, put down twice, and the right decision for me for the corner to call it off. I think Smith could have ended up getting hurt there had he chose to go on. So brilliant performance from Beterbiev. For Callum Smith now, I would suggest, I mean, he might call it a day. I think it was mentioned in the build-up that he might, you know, he might call it a day and hang them up off back of that. What more does he have to achieve, really? Super middleweight champion, tremendous career. He's now gone up to light heavyweight and fought the best of the best, and no disgrace in losing to Beterbiev. He might choose to have a homecoming. I think he's deserved it, should he choose to do that. But we'll wait and see. And Beterbiev now, it sounds like all but agreed, is the undisputed WBA holder, as Dmitry Bivol, as we know. And it sounds like all but agreed is the fight for the undisputed. And it was a fight that I sort of felt that Bivol, you know, might give the edge to, but after that performance last night, I'm not even sure that Dmitry Bivol, as good as he is with his movement, is going to be able to keep Beterbiev off him, the bigger puncher, and obviously 20-0 now with 20 knockouts. He's going to be a hard night's work for Dmitry Bivol, and that's a fight that we look to with interest. Just in the build-up, I'm not going to labour the point too much, but also we heard about the atypical finding that was announced in the build-up, an unusual level of HGH and testosterone metabolite from a test, following a test, VADA test, I think around the 9th of December. Beterbiev subsequently passing two tests, and of course no adverse finding. It was just what VADA say is quite a typical or common occurrence for an atypical level to flag. I just thought that was a bit strange, really. I think it's disrespectful to the champion, number one, if there's nothing adverse, and also it just presents a grey area that no one really needs. I don't know how helpful it was. Apparently they were made aware of it in December, and obviously it got made known just before the fight, but I just felt like it's unhelpful. Let's have it black and white. It's either failed or it's passed, negative or positive. I don't think we really need anything in the middle, any grey areas. I don't think it's really helpful to either party. So that's just my observation on that one. So yeah, brilliant night's work from Beterbiev. Might just be unstoppable as he now moves on with the 3 titles intact. So looking ahead, guys, obviously we're back on British soil, and this weekend, Liverpool Echo Arena, Natasha Jonas in action. For me, what will be one of her career best wins if she is to beat Mikaela Mayer, if not her career best win. That's how highly I rate Mikaela Mayer. Big fan of hers, and she's obviously going up to welterweight to challenge Natasha Jonas for her world title, and I'll be checking in on that one on my next video with my preview. We've got Jack Cullen, Dak Cheeley in action on the undercard. Jack Cullen defending his British title at super middle, following his impressive stoppage performance last time out against Heffron. So that will be an intriguing one as well. But that's it from me, guys. Thanks for tuning in always, as always, to JH Boxing Fan, and I'll see you on the next one.